What's going on? This is the Objective Jerk. And I'm said jerk. What's up? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody is well. Again, Trump's up in the polls. Harris is down. I heard that Trump is about to do the Joe Rogan podcast, or already did. And then Kamala Harris is also supposedly going to do it. I think it's going to hurt Kamala even more. Every time she opens her mouth, she goes down in the polls. You think it'd be the other way around, right? No. So I don't know if you guys saw this. Or Tesla has some robots. Japan and stuff has always been always doing you see robots carrying stuff and walking up steps and various things. And now Tesla's rolled out some robots, and it's very iRobot kind of vibes. I think it's impressive and it's kind of cool, but at the same time, I'm a little old school. I just don't think it's a good idea, really. I mean, it's going to happen regardless. Man's always going to try and do whatever. I like Elon Musk, but man, sometimes I think he might be the downfall of the human race. And it's not that I think, these, robots, they get produced and people are going to have them and it's going to become like the iRobot, movie and story, the story that, dude, what's his face, man? What's his name? Philip, the guy that did 1984. No, that was Orson Welles, huh? Orson Welles is a director. No, it's the same guy. 1984, and the story, the electric sheep, that Blade Runner was based off, and iRobot. That dude, I think he was a time traveler. He came from the future, and he wrote stories on stuff that he knew about back in the 60s and 70s or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think they are gonna hurt the human race, but not like in the movies and stuff. They're not just gonna become self aware, and then attack all the human race because humans are ugly and this and that. I mean, it's possible, I guess, but I think it's more along the lines that these robots are gonna hurt us just like smartphones have hurt us. You know what I mean? And you might be like, dude, what? Smartphones? How have they hurt us? Yes, smartphones are freaking useful and efficient and what's the word that I'm looking for? A loss for words. That's why I need to name my podcast. A loss for words. Because dang, man, I can never. But it makes convenient. There we go. Convenience. Smartphones make life convenient. However, they're making us stupid though, And I've said it before. It's just people don't know they don't have to know anything. They can just get on their phone and find it out. Nobody has to be a movie buff or an expert in this, or, you used to have people that were really into certain things and knew a lot of information. And, your friends would ask, oh man, Steve, he knows all this, or, whatever. They know this kind of stuff. Now it's like everybody knows everything, but they actually don't know anything. You know what I mean? And it's just, brains are just not used like they used to be. Nobody has to really use their brain anymore. And it's showing, It's like you look at videos of people at concerts or just going to the Grand Canyon or whatever, and everybody's just walking around with their damn phones. Just the other day, I took my wife to a farm supply store to get some meds for some goats. And I'm just sitting there, and everybody, they're not maybe on their phone, but they're walking around and carrying their phone. Everybody has their phone with them. It's so the idea of them being like surgically connected, how they're talking about implants and stuff like that, dude, that's gonna happen too. But it's just, it's not good. It isn't. It's not good. Um, I have a smartphone. It's not actually connected to my phone, like my So cell phone, this is what I have. So when I go out, when I leave the house, this is what I have. This is this. And then I do have an iPhone, but it's mainly just like my little personal computer and, lay in bed, watch something, kind of whatever. Just because I'm more about enjoying the moment. I'm not trying to I like to take pictures like with a camera and actually take some pictures, but I don't like to just take pictures of every little thing that happens. And I don't know, I'm just kind of old school that way, And I was thinking about some of the stuff the things that, we used to enjoy 20 years ago or before that you cannot enjoy anymore. You know what I mean? Things like Blockbuster Video, renting, going to Blockbuster, on Friday, or maybe trying to go Thursday, go early because, they would have the new movies. And when there was a brand new movie that came out, they would always be, they'd all be rented out, so you try and go early. But you just go there, go to the new release section. Oh, sweet, they got the new whatever. You grab that. And then maybe grab a couple favorites and maybe even rent a game. You know what I mean? Spend like $10, if that, and you just got like a whole night planned out of movies and shows and games and stuff, Things like that. Like, it's just like, those were good times, man. And that does not exist anymore, And one of the other things that I was thinking about that's the same thing is crank calling or prank calling, right? I watched, I don't know if it was like TikTok or something, but it was a comedian. I have no idea who the guy is, but he talks about he gets somebody calls him thinking he's someone else and starts talking like a business deal kind of thing. And he's like, ooh, I'm going to just get involved and pretend he's the person, And that's kind of how me and my friends, used to do crank calling or prank calling. We called it prank calling. This was before caller ID, even before star 69, you could just get on a phone and randomly dial a number and try and make something entertaining happen, And, we didn't do like, hey, hi, this is whatever from Sears. Is your refrigerator running? Yeah. Well, you better go catch it. We didn't do crap like that. It was like we tried to kind of do like what that comedian did. We tried to, like, I don't know, just get involved, like pretend. Okay, so me and my friend used to do it all the time, right? We would call and just try and get them to think we're someone else and just get a conversation going. Like, that was kind of like our goal. And, most of the time it didn't work, but sometimes it would. But there was only one time that I remember, And again, this was before caller ID. Nobody had caller ID. And then this was even before Star 69. But I remember Star 69 came out. And for those that don't know, Star 69 was somebody called you and you're like, what the hell was that? You could hang up, pick up the phone, Star 69, and it would call them. And you'd be like, yo, did you just call me? Who is this? You know what I mean? But what you did, once Star 69 came out, you just dialed Star 67 before you dialed the number. So if you picked up the phone and dialed Star 67 and then dialed the phone number, they couldn't do the Star 69. And it's crazy. But anyway, so, we would just get on the phone and we would just blah, 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 blah. Any random number. We wouldn't go through the phone book or nothing. We would just make up a number, get on the phone and see what happens. So I remember doing this like right around, I was like a young teenager and I hadn't completely, like I was just at the beginning of my becoming a man, going through puberty. So my voice was still kind of high. And so I would sometimes be mistaken for a woman or whatever. And so I called one person, one time, call and the phone is ringing, phone is ringing, phone is ringing. I was about to hang up and all of a sudden he picks it up. Hey, hello? And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And then either they'll be like, yeah, I'm all right. Who's this? Or they'll be like, oh, hey, what's up? You know, like you sound like somebody. So that's the good ones. When your voice sounds like somebody they know and they just assume you're that person, and then you proceed to have a conversation with that individual. And the best ones were when they had no idea. And this was one of them. I think this is why I remember this one. But so the guy thinks I'm somebody. It was a woman, I remember. I don't know, like Susan or something. I don't know. And so I'm like, hey, what's going on? They're like, hey, nothing much. How you doing? They're like, oh, nothing. And then I was like, hey, it took you a while to answer the phone. He's like, yeah, I was outside doing some stuff, doing this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And he just kind of starts talking, you know, and with his wife. And then he's like, so how's Mark doing or whatever? And I'm like, oh, you know, it's fine. It's good. And just trying to let him talk as much as possible. And so I had like, 5-minute conversation maybe of just kind of that, just a little bit of, try not to give too much. Oh, that's good. And then if he'd ask a question about this and that, just kind of, and we had an entire conversation. All right, well, we'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. And then that was it. He had no idea it was a crank call. And what the thrill of it was like, man, he's going to talk to that person and be like, dude, hey. And they're going to be like, what? I didn't talk to you, if that ever happened. But that was what was the fun part of it,
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thanks again for listening to The Objective Jerk. I greatly appreciate it. If you could like, subscribe, comment on wherever you're finding this. And you can also email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. So hope you're enjoying it, and please continue on with the episode. Yeah, you had times where you're like, you'd be a jerk, a little punk teenager, and say some stuff and laugh and giggle. But it's just that doesn't happen anymore, And this has been since the beginning of time, in biblical times, people were wealthy because they had cattle and goats and stuff, were successful at farming and this and that. Now it's like farmers who still make the world go round are like the poorest people on the planet, which I never understand, but anyway. But yeah, just, things change, humanity changes, we evolve, and then, yes, I believe in God and I believe that he created the world, but I also believe that he created evolution for, things to evolve. It's not so much evolution, but adapting, there's another word for it. I can't remember it. I remember it from my biology class, but, things change and people adapt but I just don't like the way things are going, really, It's like, my kids will have to get on a computer. Like, my kids can run around on an iPhone or maybe a pad, and, or be on, some kind of app and just be able to just go through it, or play a video game and just be all fast and know where everything is, right? But then you tell them to pull up a Word document, type something, and print it, they can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, I have to show them how to, connect to the printer, make sure you select it, and just troubleshoot. They're having problems. I got to troubleshoot. I got to show them how to, all the kind of stuff that like I used to know, and I had to show my parents. I'm now having to show my children. And it's just like, what? So to me, that's odd, Why is it? I don't know. It's like, we had, and I remember in the States, some of my kids, in their classes, they would have tablets. Keep saying, well, no, pads, right? And it was just, I remember thinking like, that's so weird. They have tablets now and they don't have computers. They don't have the computer lab, where you'd go and learn how to, I remember using a Mac, like the the early Macs, the funky small Macs with the, like the first gen Mac. I remember having those in the library in school and stuff, and just learning how to do all that kind of stuff. And now they don't, and I guess that's the thing that's for my generation. It's like I remember taking a typing class with a typewriter, but nobody uses typewriters anymore. I mean, some people do, as just like some people like to, use vinyl and stuff like that. But it's just, things just kind of change, I got a typewriter for Christmas one year from my grandpa. I wanted a Sega, and I got a typewriter. Like, what the? I used it a little bit, but not, I don't know. Once, I could do my homework in school, and you can delete and fix your mistakes instead of having correcting tape on the typewriter and try and line everything up and do it. Dude, it's such a pain in the butt. So, once the computer, I didn't touch the typewriter anymore. I mean, it'd be kind of cool, no, not really, I guess. Because I write some stories, some little fiction stories. I have a handful started. And maybe if I had like a little typewriter, I could, but usually I just do it on the computer. It's just easier. I mean, I guess there's like a, some people maybe as like just to kind of help the process, maybe use like a typewriter. Like when I pray, I light a candle, I do incense and stuff like that to kind of like, okay, it's pray time, so let's get to work. So, if somebody's got to write something on their typewriter, like tells their brain, hey, it's time to get to work, so they'll focus more. And that was something too I learned in college, when you're doing your homework, is maybe find like a little place and a certain lamp. And the only time you use that lamp is when you're doing homework. So it's kind of like a little, it's literally a light switch, but also a light switch for your brain. Like, okay, homework time, and you focus. Same thing, I guess, kind of. But yeah, I don't know. Like like I said, the Tesla robots or whatever, it's cool. It's impressive. It's like, wow, that's pretty neat. It's crazy that they can do that, this and that. But the idea of everybody that has a Tesla car will soon have like a Tesla robot as well, that's going to do their chores for them. So then so now you're going to have people that are like content creators, YouTube, whatever. And now they can sit there and spend even more time on the computer doing their whatever because they got their robot to do dishes. Or still, that seems crazy. I don't know how well it's going to be, but just to pick up the house and go, hey, there's a delivery guy at the door. I'm trying to do this here in the robot. You know what I mean? Like what? It's just, I never thought that I would see the Jetsons come to life, I mean, not completely. Jetsons was in the sky. That was like the biggest thing. But as far as like the robot made, you got the little robot vacuums. My dad had one. He named it Rosie or whatever. Is that the name? The robot in the Jetsons. But like, the screen, so much of the Jetsons is now true, George would go to work and he had to push a button. Oh, it's so hard. A lot of people, they click a mouse when they're at work. It's the same kind of thing, It's just, I don't know. Maybe it will get to a point to where we do have this wonderful, great, wonderful, magnificent utopia, that where everybody is retired and on vacation because robots do everything. Maybe it'll happen. I don't know. But I know it's going to be like, what's that movie? With the robot, Chappie or something. And they have him helping him, rob banks and stuff like that. And like, you're just going to see, everything that you're watching on the news, protests and politicians and all this stuff is all going to be robots. You know what I mean? Everybody's just going to be chilling, just like Wall-E. We're going to be all fat, sitting in our recliners, and we're going to watch things play out, but it's going to be robots doing it. I don't know. It's just crazy. I mean, you know, I don't think it will, because you have so much, you have individuals like myself or people that are even like, oh, hell no, I'm not, you know, nothing to do with that, you know? You got people that want to live out in the country, that want to manually, you know, self-sufficient living and not have to rely on technology and stuff like that. And I'm kind of like, I'm in the middle, you know, I'm a little bit of both. I'm working on a garden. I want to have some stuff. I want to have the ability to survive without the world for, you know, a month or something if need be. But at the same time, I'm here recording a podcast. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not hard. It's not a whole lot to it. But it is what it is, I guess. It's just crazy. The world, it's just crazy how fast and how much the world has changed in the last, 30 years. It's just, I don't know, it's just insane. We went from, everybody calling the internet, or whenever they were given their, back in the day when you were given a website, now you just say, oh, hey, go to Trump.com or go to Trump website or go to whatever, CNN, whatever. Then it was like, okay, what you do is you go www.trump.com. So you know what I mean? Like you had to give the exact address but we went from shitty internet, dial-up internet, and chatting. I remember the first time chatting with somebody, this was after sending some emails, but it's like, oh man, now we're talking, but we're typing, and now look where we are. It's just crazy. And that's 30 years, less than 30 years. How fast and just how much has changed is kind of scary, Like, when's it going to stop? Maybe sooner than we think. Maybe these robots are it. Like, what else can they do? I mean, the implants, I guess, that's scary right there, dude. Think of having your phone implanted into you. And you can just be like, in your head, Siri, call the wife. And then you just hear it ringing in your head. And then you just be like, hey, what's up? Yeah, okay, blah, 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 talking, whatever. Like, maybe it seems kind of cool. Then you don't have to listen to people on speakerphone, and you don't have to hear people's phone ringing in the theater, I guess, But I don't know. It's just, what do? They track your phone. They know where everybody is with their cell phone. So you get those implants, dude. Freedom is done. Yeah, maybe, I guess, people would say, okay, at first it may seem like it, but over time, there'll be less crime because people can't get away with crime anymore because they're going to know where everybody is at every time. So it's gonna slowly work itself out to where people do not commit crime. And I guess that's a possibility, but I don't think so. But anyway, that's all. Thanks for listening. Appreciate your time. God bless, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye. You just put yourself through another episode of The Objective Jerk. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Please email me at theobjectivejerk@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, comment, wherever you find this, follow. It all helps. But thanks again, and I'll see you next time.